Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We're learning more tonight about the events that unfolded in a Grand Forks apartment shootout yesterday afternoon. Police say a 41-year-old man barricaded himself inside the bedroom of his apartment. Authorities say when officers entered the bedroom, he fired at them. 2 people died in the gunfire. Grand Forks police officer Cody Holte and a 61-year-old woman named Lola Moore. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie dug into the criminal history of the alleged gunman, Sulema Pendleton, to give you a look into what officers were up against.
This is the most dangerous thing you can do in this job. He wasn't lying, and this is why.
Authorities say despite giving Sulema Pendleton and Lola Moore several chances to leave their apartment, serving eviction papers Wednesday afternoon quickly went south.
We weren't there by our own choice. He had his opportunity to leave freely. We don't like to do this. It's extremely dangerous, and that's why we went with 2 officers.
Pendleton is no stranger to authorities. He has a lengthy list of criminal charges against him in multiple states, including harassing and assaulting police officers. Still, neighbors living in the complex say it was something they could have never anticipated.
We couldn't even fathom having to come home to this. This is not a normal day in this neighborhood.
Dorsch and others adding they're thankful for law enforcement and all they do for the community.
God bless them. Just respect them, and whatever they do every day is not normal, and no day is normal for them.
Pendleton is being treated for his injuries at All True Hospital. Officials say he will be facing charges in the coming days. In Grand Forks, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
And authorities say Grand Forks County Corporal Ron Nord, who was also involved in the shooting, was wounded. He was treated and released from the hospital this afternoon. Those in law enforcement are remembering the life of Cody Holte. Detective Nick Holter of the Devils Lake Police Department knew him. He says in the summer of 2016, both participated in the police academy and became close because of how similar their last names were. His heart sank when he heard of Holte's death yesterday. In speaking with us, the detective couldn't hold back his emotions.
We pray every day that, the goal is that we get to go home to our families. And it's absolutely heartbreaking when someone can't do that. I don't know. Can we wrap this up here quick? This isn't going the way I thought it would.
According to the National Law Enforcement Memorial Fund, 45 officers have died so far this year, a decrease from the same period last year. That number does not include Officer Holte.
It's important to remind these officers that we are there for them and we care about them, and they are definitely in our prayers.
As the community of Grand Forks is left reeling from the shooting, supporters came together tonight to pay their respects to law enforcement. Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay takes you along as hundreds march to support those in blue.
The hurt that they're feeling, the pain that they're feeling, it's not going to go away. It's something that's going to take time to heal that. So just continue to show that support for them. And it's not just them, it's the whole community that's hurting.
Just one day after an officer lost his life in a shootout in Grand Forks, the community begins their road to healing.
We support our law enforcement and their families. They are not in this alone.
Supporters came from all over the valley, marching from East Grand Forks, Minnesota to the Grand Forks Police Department to rally around a grieving law enforcement community.
It's very important to just show unification, to show support, and to show the love that we have for the Grand Forks Police Department and the Grand Forks Sheriff's Office.
Nearly 200 people surrounded the building, wrapping both the police and sheriff's departments in love and support.
I don't think people understand what they have until it's gone, and what people actually put their life on the line for. That they do more than you think, and that they are also human.
A community determined to thank local officers and keep Officer Cody Holte's memory alive. In Grand Forks, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
Police say formal remembrance services will be scheduled at a later time. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says yesterday's events are a sad reminder of the risk that men and women in uniform face every day to protect our communities. In a statement, the governor extends deepest condolences to the family of the Grand Forks police officer who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. And the governor asked all North Dakotans to pray for his loved ones, for the injured deputy, and for the continued safety of all law enforcement officers. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has activated the Minnesota National Guard in response to the protests in Minneapolis. Leaders from across the state requested National Guard resources after extensive damage to private property and peaceful protests changing into dangerous situations. The governor said in part that George Floyd's death should lead to justice and systemic change, not more death and destruction, adding that Floyd would not want people to get hurt. The governor says, let's come together to rebuild, remember, and seek justice for George Floyd. Governor's office says he is committed to addressing the systemic inequities and discrimination leading to the death and is seeking justice. The mayor of Minneapolis is calling for residents to restore peace in the community following several days of protests over the death of Floyd. Mayor Jacob Frey today called the protest the result of so much buildup, anger, and sadness ingrained in the black community for the past 400 years. While he said this has been pent up, he also called for peace.
I believe in Minneapolis. I love Minneapolis. And in believing in our city, we must believe that we can be better than we have been. We must confront our shortcomings with both humility as well as hope. We must restore the peace so that we can do this hard work together.
Minneapolis's police chief also called for an all-out effort to restore peace, saying he will not allow criminal acts to threaten the safety of the city. Federal authorities in Minneapolis today promised a thorough and swift investigation into the police custody death of George Floyd, and they're asking for the public's help to do it. In a news conference this afternoon, the U.S. Attorney announced the formal investigation without word about charges or arrests.
The federal investigation in this case will determine whether the actions the former Minneapolis police officers took violated any federal criminal laws, to include any civil rights violations.
Investigators called for the people to be patient and peaceful as the case moves forward. The state of North Dakota is confirming 42 new cases across the state of coronavirus, along with one additional death. The latest victim, a man in his 80s from Cass County who had underlying health issues. 57 deaths have been linked to the illness in the state. There's also been 42 new cases confirmed. 1,793 people have recovered, bringing the active case count to 688. In Minnesota, health officials are reporting another 35 COVID-19 deaths for a total of 967 in the state. 787 of those deaths happened in a nursing home or a long-term care facility. 493 more coronavirus cases are being reported, bringing the active case count to 5,325. 16,655 people are listed as being recovered. A reminder tonight from fire officials to make sure that your smoking materials are put out properly. Fargo fire crews responding to a call at East Gateway Circle South for a deck fire on the second floor. Crews evacuated everyone and put out the fire. Authorities say because neighbors were quick to notice it, the flames didn't extend beyond the deck.
If you are disposing of your smoking materials, use a proper container, something metal, something with some liquid in it, so that when you put the cigarette out or any type of smoking material out, it's out completely.
We just said to be about $300. There were no injuries reported. One person is dead in a rollover. It happened in Lemoore County. The Highway Patrol says a 74-year-old man from Fullerton was killed when the tractor he was driving rolled. Investigators say it happened as he was towing a pickup and was going down a sloped roadway south of Lemoore. When the tractor and pickup started to sway, the driver lost control and the tractor rolled. He was ejected and later pronounced dead at the scene. Starting next week, the North Dakota Department of Transportation will begin installing concrete median barriers on Interstate 29. It's going to happen between 17th Avenue South to 32nd Avenue South. Crews will start by installing temporary barriers along the shoulder of the roadway. You can expect traffic impacts starting on Monday after 6 a.m. 2 lanes will be open in each direction. A passing lane closure will be in effect in each direction. Speeds are going to be reduced to 40 miles per hour when traffic control is present, and the project is expected to finish up by the end of October. Well, thanks to your generosity and your viewership, Valley News Live has been nominated for the National Broadcast Association Service to Community in America Award. It's for our campaign to promote the mission of the Golden Drive homeless kids, and through your generosity, $50,000 in funds and goods was raised to help children in our area, and the nation is taking notice. Thank you.